Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Chatting with the speakers and artists at the Christian Media and Arts Connect conference. It's Rise and Shine on Vision.
Joining me in this makeshift Connect 2024 studio is the lovely, the resplendent, the irrepressible TARYN Stokes.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Round of applause for TARYN. Now, TARYN, people going, oh, hang on, I've heard that name before. TARYN, people know you as the winner of the last season of The Voice.
Yes, that's right.
And not the last season, in the final season. There will be more seasons.
No, there's a season happening now, but yes, I was last year's winner of The Voice.
Now, let's get to know you a little bit, because you're very new to the Vision audience and, people listening all over Australia. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Melbourne.
Okay.
Yes.
Born and bred down there?
Born and bred in Melbourne. I did have a stint in Sydney for about 7 years. And
didn't stick?
Well, no. I just wanted to go back with my family, and I brought my husband home and
Went to Sydney to find a husband?
Well, I didn't know that was going to happen, but yes, that did happen. Yes.
How did that? No, you got to break it down for us.
Yes.
How did it happen? Where'd you meet him?
We met in a band, actually.
Oh,
yes.
There you go.
So I joined a band, and he was the lead singer, and I was the other lead singer that joined.
Okay.
And we were just best friends for ages, and then yes, God had other plans.
The vocals interweaved, and the lives and the hearts. Does he still sing?
Unfortunately, he doesn't. He does at home, but
Okay.
he doesn't anymore, because I guess he is the breadwinner right now, and we have 2 kids. So yes, I said one day he's going to join another band when he's 51 now, so maybe when he's 60. I don't know.
Let's go. We need some duets between the two of you.
That's right.
So you give him a shout out. What's his name?
Paul Stokes.
Okay, Mr.
Yes,
Paul Stokes.
Mr. Paul Stokes.
Singer extraordinaire, doing the good thing, Paul. Thank you so much for letting TARYN come up here and have a chat with us. Now, TARYN, and I know you've talked about this a lot, but I'd really love to come at it from, an angle of faith. Mm-hmm. And you're not the first Christian to, go through the Voice, machine.
No, there's many.
And, and even not the first Christian to win it.
To win, that's
type
right.
thing. And how has that been of a woman who has a faith to go through, and behind the scenes? And again, we, pull back the curtain a little bit. We've got a lot of friends, mutual friends, who are part of that show and have worked on that show. It's not all bells and whistles and flashy and, hooray this. And it's hard work.
It is.
And there's a lot of expectations, a lot of worldly expectations put on people as well. How do you walk through that with a bit of, class and faith and stay true to who you are and who God's called you to be?
I think for me, maybe being like in my 40s now, I feel like I do know myself, and I've had that long journey, I guess, God helping me with that. But I feel like for me now, it's quite easy to make good decisions, and fame and fortune doesn't bother me at all. And so then that doesn't, it doesn't really even trying to win the competition, that wasn't what I was doing it for. I was just being myself and giving it a go. And I really didn't think anyone would want to vote for a 40-year-old mum. I thought that's not the usual winner.
Yes.
I think I just staying true to myself and just trusting that, these things don't matter. They're not the most important thing. And just loving on people and seeing people for who they are. Yeah. And I think that's what Jesus did. And so I love that.
In the arc of the show, you being part of it there, and again walking away as the voted on national winner, type of thing, which was an amazing feeling. Obviously, a massive high.
Yeah.
What and go behind the scenes. Go at any moment. Doesn't even have to be something that was televised.
Yeah.
What was a moment that along the journey there that you were really surprised what God was doing in the midst of that, where you just went, "Oh my goodness, okay, God's got something bigger here." Was there a moment in the midst of all of that where you went, "Oh man, God's at work," even in a show like The Voice?
Yeah, I felt a sense that he was in control and he was doing something. Yeah. I think I was giving the reins over to him a lot, because I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do The Voice. Yeah. Someone asked me if I wanted to audition. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just turn up to the audition. So everything was kind of just like one step, another step, a little bit of, sadness, I guess, leaving my children. But I felt like, I'm not sure about one moment, but I felt like there were many moments through the show that was just confirmation that God is with me and he's just doing what he's doing, and I just got to let it go. I remember once I walked to Bondi Beach, and I'm not always a person that looks for signs, spiritual signs or anything, but there was a moment where my a friend of mine said, like I guess prophesied or just said, you're going to sing like lightning. It's going to like shoot through to people. And I was like, oh, that's nice, cool. And then I went to the beach and it was like a sunny day, and then far away over the water I saw a big flash of lightning and like just one grey cloud. And I was like, I don't know if that's God, but for me it felt like just a little like, okay.
That little moment.
A little moment of like, okay, I'll just keep going.
I've got a dear friend who, talks about, the two different types of Christians, and that those who, have those high lightning moments all the time, their life is a moment, and he goes, and then there's me.
Yeah.
The plotter who just plods step by
That's
step
right.
and just goes moment.
Yes.
It sounds like you're a little bit of a plotter yourself, just step by step.
Yeah, I don't always over spiritualize everything, I guess, but that moment when you go, I don't think I can deny that. I really feel like that was a little moment for me, or just a little confirmation, I guess.
I love it. it. Was there anybody that came alongside you behind the scenes in the show?
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of vocal coaches, there's a lot of producers, there's all the different people in the background. Was anybody that came along and spoke into your faith, and you actually surprised, there's more Christians here than what I thought?
Gary Pinto?
Yes. Mr. Gaz. I love that man.
Mr. Gaz, he's wonderful. Honestly, he just has that gift. So everyone who walked into his little like vocal sessions before we sang came out and just be like, I don't even know what he does, but I just feel like confident, and there was something, and I actually spoke to him the other day about it. I was like, Gary, you're incredible. Like the way that you helped us all over that season. He's like, it's just God. It's just God.
A beautiful man of faith.
Yeah.
Beautiful man of faith, and just a sincere servant to anybody who walks in his pathway, Gary. I love that guy very much.
Me too.
Next time you see him, make sure you say big hello for me.
I
will. So in the journey, we talked about the highs, we talked about God being there. Were there moments where it was in the other end where you're like, what am I doing here? I've made a mistake. I got to go.
Most of the time. I don't know. Sometimes I might have like a bit of a negative bias. Like I like to keep things way too real, where like people are like, this is exciting. I'm like, oh, it is exciting.
Yeah.
Like so I kind of play things down to cope, I think.
Is that I have the same issue.
Yeah.
Taryn, I think that's why when I first spoke to you just the other day, I was like, oh, she's my type of person. She's being very real here.
Very real.
I call it different things at different times in my head, like that voice in my head, that inner voice. I call it sometimes inner critic.
Yeah.
It's a cynical person. But oftentimes I call it the editor.
Yeah.
Someone who's just sitting there going, well, this could be all done better, way better, and why is it being done so poorly? And I can't, it's so hard to turn it off.
Yeah.
Whether it's about myself and everybody else around me.
Yes.
Is it more of a critic, or is it just, how would you describe it for yourself?
I think for me it's like a safety mechanism. Yeah. Like it's just to like, let's all calm this down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And I just try to like keep everything calm, because I don't know, ADHD, you can get carried away with everything. And I think I've learnt that like, just don't get too excited, but I've got to find that balance. So I think for me, the hard thing was just being away from my children and thinking, what am I doing this for? Like, they need mum every night. They're still in nappies at that stage. It was really hard for me, and I've always just been very with my kids and very present. So it just was a little bit of a pull. And then I'm like, no, I feel like this is stepping in a direction that God wants me. And then I had a lot of great people around me that were like, your kids will be fine. Like I had a psychologist who was really amazing.
So how old were the kids when you stepped in?
1 and 3, just at the end of 1 and 3, and now they're 3 and 5, so they're a bit bigger. But at that stage,
And how long were you away from the kids at any one time?
In one block, it was 8 weeks.
Oh,
I didn't know that though. Yeah, I thought.
Well, that's it. Every step along, you could be like, I could be bouncing. I'm going home.
That's right. And I said to my husband, I'll be home next week, I'm sure. And he'll be like, no, you won't. I'm like, yes, I will. It's only 2 more weeks. And so it was.
And
hard.
I'm sure there's a lot of family their support for Paul and the kids at home.
Yes. Yeah. And he's incredible. He's he's Mr. Logistics, and I'm very blessed to have Mr. Logistics in my life. He used to do that at our old church. He was technical and all that. So he just does that and does logistics with the kids and organises it. So
they're totally fine. They're
totally fine.
And now when you're spending time with the kids, they're like, they don't even remember.
They don't remember the whole time. I'm like, why was I stressed?
Yeah,
but yes.
Yeah. I love that. And I love the fact that you're someone who very vocally, like seeing you even, first time seeing you perform live was at the, as a tiny little speck, as I was saying, seeing you at For King and Country in Brisbane, and my heart just went out to you because you're like, there's one little light, there's a guy on piano, and there's just you in front of this massive mechanism that is For King and Country.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and you've just powered through it. It was great. But even in that moment, all you could do was talk about your kids.
Yeah.
And, seeing you perform a few times, even around,
I know, I do a lot, don't I?
You love talking about the kids, but I love that motherly heart. And I think that's a
Yeah.
great example
Yeah.
to young people looking up, that you very openly talk about the most precious thing in your life is your
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people looking at celebrity and fame and singers who've
Yeah.
made it, in
Yeah.
inverted commas,
Yeah.
it's all about themselves, or it's a look, or it's a
Yeah.
persona. You're very talking.
I struggle with it being about myself. I actually don't love people like looking at me, and I don't like always being seen. So I've
Yes.
had to really step out and just be like, be uncomfortable with that sometimes, and just be like, even singing like where we are at this conference, I've been thinking about like when people come up to me and say like, you're amazing, your voice is amazing. And I do get that a lot, and it is overwhelming. I just think, well, actually what they're saying is that I got something from that song. And so I've changed that
Great
around, so
filter.
it really helps me to ground
Great
myself.
filter. When I had this, I've had the same, and again, I don't want to put myself into your story here, but I know what you're talking about. When I went to Bible college and studied, how to preach. You do hermeneutics and you learn how to
Yes.
preach. Then you start doing a little bit of that. You become a bit of an itinerant preacher, and you end up talking on the radio. But you do a little bit of it, and someone comes over and goes, "Oh, that was great preaching.
Yeah.
That was amazing when you did this and that." And then all of a sudden you feel that struggle inside to go,
Yeah.
it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'm pretty good. But I had a great teacher, and he said the minute someone does that, you just go, thank God.
Yeah, that's it.
Pointing
100%.
back to God and say it
That's
was
it.
about Him. It's not about me. You get out of that road,
Yep.
or else all of a sudden the ego can
Yeah.
take on. You talking about that struggle of having that praise and being in that spotlight. Is that one of the reasons why you left it to being a mum in your 40s to do something like going onto The Voice? Or
Yeah. I feel like with me, the timing's always just God. Like I do not have a plan in life. Like it is just people are like, what's your 5-year plan? I'm like, 5 years.
Mr. Logistics has got that. Go see him.
That's right. So I don't really know. I just feel like it's just one thing at a time with me. I don't know.
Yeah. So it wasn't that you were like, okay, I'm putting this off because I don't want it to be about me. It was just like, well, I'm busy doing other things.
Yeah, I was definitely like serving at my church for a long time and touring with my church and being part of that team. And so I feel like at that stage I was like, I don't know if I want kids. And then when it was a struggle to have kids, I was like, oh my gosh, this could be like too late. And so once we had kids, it was a bit later in life, and that was everything. I was like, I don't care about anything else. I'm all in, and I'm so blessed. And so then, this is a bit of a curveball that I didn't know was going to happen.
Do you? I've got a lot of friends and family in that same situation, and they're in two different minds. And I'd be interested to see what yours is, Taryn. Do you go, what was I thinking? I should have had kids way back then, or do you go, no, it happened at the right time?
Yes, both, because I feel like as a 40-year-old now, and like I had kids at 36 and 38, I feel like I am probably a bit of a better mum.
Yes.
Like
I'm more
my
mature
teaching,
person. Yes.
Matured.
Yeah.
So then what I'm teaching them, I feel like is more important. But then, I don't know. You might lose time. I don't know how long. This is very dark, but I don't know how long I'm going to live, or if I'm going to be too old for something. But I feel like that's probably why I'm like trying to like teach so much and trying to like, even though they're 3 and 5, I'm thinking of them being 18 and try to teach them like telling the truth and all the the good things of God and right morals and things like that. So I don't know.
I love that. Let's change gears a little bit, and because I know a lot of people will be listening to this and they'll find it online. We'll put it out there as its own podcast.
Yeah.
People will be tuning in and go, Google searching TARYN Stokes, and up this pops, and here's this weird Christian interview. What's going on here?
Yeah.
This is what I'd love to get into for people looking into the industry, and there's so many young people who want to be a singer, and want to be, some sort of, performer or anything like that, and they go, there's seems to be these days fewer and fewer pathways than what they used to be, like, or it's changing. It's always ever changing.
Yeah.
And now one of these things is reality television shows. All right, go into the reality television show and you'll be set, you'll be made, you'll be good as gold. And I hear young people talking about that, and I go, well, this is all the music reality TV shows we've had on for the last, what is it, 2 decades now?
Yeah.
Name all the winners for me of all of them, know, and where are they now? And are they all living in a mansion out there, or are they?
Yeah.
Some of them have just moved on to different things.
Yeah.
Some of them are hardworking musicians, and some of them have become, done the fame and fortune.
Yeah.
On the other side of it, and I don't want to, get you to talk about things you can't talk about, but being a winner, does it go, oh, okay, now I wake up the next morning and I'm still here, and it's just me, and or is it like, oh, everything's changing, I've got all these opportunities now, and it's great?
Yeah, I feel like nothing's handed to you, and especially like it's not the day where Guy Sebastian won Australian Idol, where everyone watched TV and the same channel and and it was a new thing. Yeah. It's now like not in a bad way, but a dime a dozen of these shows, right? Just to be real. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you won I didn't watch it this year," but it's just a normal thing that there's so much online that people can watch their own shows and they can stream. Yes. So it's just not a big as big an audience, I would say. Yeah. But also, nothing's really handed to you, and I feel like without getting into too much to get in trouble, there probably does need to be a little bit more of a pathway to help the Voice contestants, but really it's kind of up to us. So we have to work really hard just like every other artist, and there's millions of artists out there. And so on saying that, it has been hard and it has been me trying to work out the steps, but I'm also really grateful that lots of people have reached out to me asking me to do gigs, and I have had quite a steady stream of work, which has really blessed me because, that is the platform that The Voice did give me. And so I'm very grateful to that.
I love great, very, very diplomatic and truthful answer at the same time. You've done well. Because we've had, Dami's a good friend of the show.
Yes, love her.
Dami's come in and co-hosted with me, and we've got to know each other.
Oh, great.
And she's very honest about, there's expectations, and then there's the real Dami over here, and then there's this and there's that. And she's very good at walking this weird, third cultural tightrope in between. And then we've got someone like Bella Taylor.
Yes.
So the lovely Bella, So the lovely Bella, we got into the deep and meaningful last year with Bella, and she's like, this was all just a stepping stone for me to do worship music in Nashville. That's where I'm going.
That's where she is.
And that's where she is,
yes.
and she's going for it over there.
Yeah.
So talk about two different ends of the spectrum.
That's right.
Four Christian performers who've won this,
yes.
right? Or then we have the, stories, and again, not to throw anybody under the bus, and, we love everybody and, nothing like that. Then you've got someone like Guy, goes from being, church singer to famous to going, well, I'm rethinking my faith, deconstructing it, and, Lord knows where he's at the moment. But, we love him and pray for him, want him
we
to.
We do love him.
But, so there's all these different examples that we've seen that walk through.
Yeah.
Do you go, all right, I want to, what's the ultimate goal for Taryn? Do you go, okay, I just want to be able to do my own songs. I want to do covers. I want to be a Christian singer. What does it even mean? Do I want to be a secular singer? You've already had an experience of doing all the worship stuff before.
Yes,
You've done that for years.
Yeah.
Is this something new, something different, or are you plotting and going, I'll see what it turns up, next?
Yeah, I have been working that out and working that through, I guess. But I think for me, I've always felt maybe a little bit different. I don't know. Well, everyone probably feels that. But I've felt like a little bit different. Like, okay, I actually feel called to be in the music industry and be an example, but not try to put on that example, like have an air about me, like I'm an example. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like I've always had this thing, and I've just kind of perceived it that, okay, God, people look to me. It's always happened. I don't ask for it. I actually ask for people not to, but like people look to me, and lots of young people come up and like, you're an inspiration to me, and I don't know, just look to me as an example. And so I feel like I really enjoy being in the music industry and actually being out in the world, and I don't want to say being the light, but kind of being the light and just loving on people and just being Jesus in that way. That's how I feel called to be. Just like he just loved people and he didn't judge. He saw people who were maybe outcasts and I just like to see people where they're at and just love on them. And I don't really feel like there's any more to it than that or any deeper, but that's where I'm at the moment. And so, yeah, just like humanity, expressing myself as a human, and I happen to be a Christian, and so that's what's going to come out of my heart when I'm singing, and just let God do the rest. So I've taken the pressure off, I guess. I think I used to try to bring God down and put myself under so much pressure. Is this God? Is this God? And now I'm like, I just trust that what I'm doing, I pray, and that you are with me, and then you will speak to people if you want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I've got to. And a lot of people have asked me to be a Christian artist. And at this point it just doesn't feel like the lane that I feel called to. So I'm just trusting that.
I love that. Fantastic. In the same way, and tell me if I've got it completely wrong here. In the same way, if I'm looking for someone to paint my house, I'm going to ask around and say, who's the best painter for the house? Now, if the dude's a Christian, bonus.
Yeah.
But if he's the best painter, I want them to come on and paint the house.
Yeah.
And as he's painting the house, hopefully he does such a great job and is such a beautiful person. We get to talk to him and yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
There's no pressure from the church on Mr. Painter to put a big Christian painter on the side of his van.
Exactly.
And wave a Jesus flag and
Yeah,
go,
that's
I'm doing,
right.
hey, by the way, everybody,
Yeah.
while I'm painting this house, this is for Jesus. Like,
Yes.
he might be thinking that in his heart.
Yeah.
But we don't have that cultural pressure.
Yeah.
He's doing this for a living. Now,
Yeah.
believe it or not, you can make a living in the music industry, going and singing at different events and things
Yeah.
and everything like that.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing a lot of covers. You're going to be doing a couple of originals and things
Yeah.
like that, building
Yeah.
up a fan base.
Yeah.
What is there the pressure to make a living, doing that by waving the Jesus flag culturally? And I think in our culture, especially in the church, there is that pressure to go, hey, you've been talented in this way, and
Yeah.
we seem to hold singers on a platform higher than everybody else. You've got to be doing this in a very overt way.
Yes.
I don't know if you can just make a living from it and just be nice over here without doing that. Am I totally on the wrong track?
100%. I think every person and personality is different. That's how God made them. And so you just got to be really true to how he made you and just understand that and just sit with that. And I think that for me, I have tried to be overtly open and it just didn't sit right. I feel like people just know me for who I am and then they get to know how, my love for God.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it's as simple as that for me. I don't know.
Well, listen. In all sincerity, I've so much enjoyed not only your performances and seeing you live, and
Thank you.
and I know you're going to do that. Praise God, it's about that, or whatever. But you've got such a killer voice, and I love sitting there with the musos who are all my friends and other singers sitting there. And I'm sitting around them. I'm not musical at all, but to watch them watching you, and just going, oh, like you can see them going, oh, go. Like they're so into it.
Oh, that's lovely.
I really love that experience as well. Listen, we're going to be praying for you, and
Thank you.
this is and I'll be straight up honest. I'll talk about the elephant in the room with your music and the music that you put out. I mean, because Vision and the ministry of Vision is Christian in everything that
And
we
I
do.
love that.
Yeah, and exactly. I love that. But the problem is, you sort of fall through the cracks with your music and that you put out, and it's like, well, we love TARYN, but the music. So it's an interesting thing that we get to talk to you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
But I want to let you know that on behalf of all the family of Vision, both internally and externally, we're championing you, and we love what you do. And
Thank you.
if you're ever in town and you get some time, we would love to invite you into our studios.
Thank you.
We have we have beautiful video studios where we've had Dami in, we've had Papa's in, we've had all these different people come
lovely.
through.
Yep.
And sing a couple of songs, do some,
sure.
do some covers, do a Christmas carol, do whatever you want to do.
Oh, I love Christmas.
Yeah. I can imagine you doing some killer Christmas songs. So anything like that you'd like to do, Vision is here for you.
Thank
We want to
you. champion
champion you. We love the fact that you are God is using you in the music industry.
Thank you.
To be that to be that light and soul out there. So
Thank you, and I love what you guys do, and very supportive. And if I don't get to sing there, I get to listen to you guys and be inspired. That's
you're
great.
too sweet. Well, big hugs to Mr. Logistics and the two kids.
Thank you.
And if anybody wants to follow TARYN, obviously do that on socials. We'll put all the links out there. But bless you so much for your time. I'm going to ask you one final thing to wrap it up.
Okay.
Give us a song. What's a song that God's been using in your life that has just blessed you, and you think we can play it now and have a big blessing for others?
There's a song when I it was in the middle of the COVID season, and I was feeding my baby a lot, and it was a very different time for us. The song Sparrows by Corey Asbury.
Yes.
You Take Good Care of Me. It's just a beautiful song, and it really spoke to me in that season. So that's the song. Enjoy.
Let's have a listen to it now.
'Cause you take good care of me. You take good care of me. You know what I need before I even ask a thing.
Perfect.
Thank
Too
you.
Easy peasy.
So good.
I just realised I've left the air conditioning on. You're probably freezing, you poor
No,
thing.
I'm not at all.
Okay.
I'm from Melbourne.
I got it.
Yes.
Broadcasting from the Christian Media and Arts Connect conference on the Gold Coast. Rise and shine on Vision.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.